Welcome to Babonga's channel. This is a way to make a BJD torso using copper parts. I'm going to use polymer clay to cover these copper parts. These are copper joints for plumbers, and you can get them from a hardware store, and they come in different sizes. And I find them ideal for the shape of the thorax and pelvis. Now, the thorax part must have a neck attached to it, so I am going to remove a circular area to attach a polymer clay tube that will be the neck of our BJD. Now the area is clean, and I'm going to make a very simple tube from polymer clay. First I'm placing it on the right spot, and then I'm going to connect it with the rest using more polymer clay to connect, embed, integrate and smooth so it becomes one with the rest of the thorax part. And it might take some time to make it look smooth, and after this we move on to the pelvis. Same procedure but without the neck. And then we have to make the part that joins the two. A pretty simple thing because it's just a polymer clay ball with a wide hole in the middle in order to allow the elastic cord to pass through. Before baking, in order to be able to remove the copper parts from the torso and the pelvis, we have to first trace the lines along which the torso and pelvis will be divided so they can be easily removed from the copper parts. After we trace the lines, we're going to use a cutter to very carefully cut along these lines. If we don't do that, then the copper parts will be forever embedded in the polymer clay, and we don't want that. If we do this right, after baking, we will be able to remove 2 parts of thorax and 2 parts of pelvis. So let's bake. So far, after baking, they look good, but the moment of truth is now. Polymer clay can break if we're not careful. So I'm inserting the knife carefully, and if the knife doesn't work, I'm going to use a cutter to help. First part okay, now this one also looks good. Let's separate the 2 parts with a cutter. Okay, not sure. I don't want it to break now. I can move it, and the other part I have to slide it a little bit to the side to remove it. Okay, nothing broke, and I'm pretty happy with this. Next, I'm gonna connect the 2 halves using liquid polymer clay and polymer clay. applying liquid polymer clay first at the seams, like this. I have to say here that I'm not using glue because I cannot bake glue, since I want to add some anatomy later. So I'm using this liquid polymer clay and then polymer clay from the inside, pressing it and smoothing it to connect the two halves of each part. I also have to note here that I'm not gonna add any anatomy in this video. I'm only making the basic shapes. So, let's bake again, and here they are. After this, we can transform, add, trim as much as we want.